Hey, welcome back to the Fishing Doctor's Adventures. Today I'm out here fishing Swan Lake in Vernon, British Columbia for perch. Started out in a different spot, drilled all over the place, only caught one fish, so actually I caught three, one keeper. And I moved down to a different spot, drilled a bunch of holes, and then I started marking a few and catching a few, so I thought I'd put the camera up and see if we can't catch some fish. Catching fish anywhere from about 4 feet deep to 7 feet deep, up on the weed flat and then just off of it into the sand. There aren't a ton. Here they come. Here's one. The ones I have been catching are, over 8 inches up to about 10 and a half, 11 probably. So we'll see if we can't catch some more and catch a few bigger ones. We'll hop around and see if we can't catch a nice perch fry here for some fish tacos later. I just keep moving really fast, hop from hole to hole, because there aren't many around, but they seem to be, if they are around and you drop down a new hole, they come in and bite really fast, so. Keep moving, find those fish. Of course, I bring the camera out, just catch 6 in a row, and then they disappear. Ooh, that's it. That's a decent one. They're hitting really hard. It's about a 9.5 incher. And that spoon, he hit it a couple times and they stuck around. Grabbed it. Man, I must have hit about 10 holes. But as soon as I get down, he's there. Bit a few times. That's why you move around, okay? Gotta make some tacos. Missed him. Still there. There we go. Another nice perch. Gotta get back down there because there's multiple perch. Ooh, there's a nice one. That's a nice one right there. Oh man, we're on them now. In shallow water, 3.5, 4 feet of water. And they're coming through. A lot of guys fish out too deep, man. Big perch, they like in shallow water. That's where the food is. Ooh, there's a nice one. Another nice one. That's a male. See how he's longer and thinner? That's how you know he's a male. Females are fat. Look how they inhale that spoon and just take it in there deep when they want it. Because these fish, they eat minnows. So they tend to eat the spoons quite aggressively. They're used to chasing those little sunfish. So they have to come in and pretty aggressively and inhale the bait. So I might be on just the very edge. I'm wondering if there's even more in shallower. So I'm gonna time to grab some more holes with the auger, or drill some more holes, and more in this range where I'm marking the fish. So okay, I just drilled a whole lot more holes. You can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 more holes. When I drill holes, I drill holes. No use drilling 2 extra holes. Drill a whole pile and then you can hop around. And I drilled, you can see, and where I had most of my action in these 2 shallower holes. Right there and right here. So I drilled along the same depth contour. You see my holes going out there, and then a little shallower. And also, just for curiosity's sake, I drilled a line of holes straight in, quite shallow. So then we'll see if there's anything in shallower there. It's only about 3 feet deep right here. So it's getting quite a bit shallower. I think there's some weeds on the bottom. Usually drop a hook down, yeah, snagged weeds right away. So then you just keep it off the bottom where you can see your spoon. When you're using sonar like this, it gets harder and harder the shallower you get to actually see the fish, because cone angle gets smaller, right? So you don't get as big of a circle down there in order to see your hook or the fish. So you'll get minimal warning when the fish are coming in, but I still like watching because then I know if a fish swims by. That seagull was like stealth attack, gonna steal my perch over there on the ice. More action on my deeper line, so let's go try the deeper holes. I don't see anything here, so let's go try it out. That seagull's right over there on the ice. He's waiting to get an opportunity to go over and steal a fish. Sun came out. It's actually pretty warm out here. I think it's supposed to be +8 today. There we go. That one just came in aggressively and hit it. Nice fish. Okay, so almost have my limit. One more fish till I get my limit of 20 perch. You don't need to see me hauling all the perch. It doesn't change. They all look the same. Some are nicer, some are smaller. I'll show you all of them when we're done here, and maybe we'll catch a couple more on camera. But for now, I thought I'll give you a little bit of gear review, okay? So this rod I'm using, really nice rod I have from Circle Tackle. I'll put the link in the description below. This is the Panfish 36, and I've really liked using this rod so far this year. I've paired it up with the President's, a Fluger President XT reel, and I have about 6-pound test in there. And you want to check your drag always when you're going for perch. It should play out, but make sure it has enough backbone to set the hook. They have really hard mouths. In this lake, there's bigger fish like pike minnows and big rainbow trout, even up to 5, 6, 7 pounds. So if you hook one of them on 6-pound test, you want to make sure you have a good drag so you're not snapping the line and losing your hook. The hook I'm using today is a VMC Tingler. It's the glow pattern orange Fire Tiger. Works really well. It's a great reaction bait, and when the perch are on a minnow pattern, they really like these type of flutter spoons. And I tip it with a small piece of shrimp, just the deli shrimp, and you can brine it up in some coarse salt before you go, so it's a little bit firmer and doesn't come off the hook as easy. And I just put a little piece like that to sweeten the deal. When they come up and grab that, they usually hold on to it for quite a while, so they seem to like it a lot. For sonar, I just have a Marcum M5. Works well. I'm fishing in shallow. Oh, we got one on the jaw jacker. Was he still there? Oh yeah, one on the jaw jacker. Look at that. Jaw jacker's got one. Jaw jacker got one. Oh, he just came off. He came off. Oh boy, came off. Guess I get that one set again. That's why I always set my jaw jacker when I'm messing around with the camera doing something else. You never know what you'll catch. That was a decent fish on there, so maybe I'll put it back down and we can go finish stocking the gear review and see what happens. Like I was saying, use deli shrimp, and I brine them with some coarse salt and put them in a little container like that so they firm out. You can dump out the water so they'll get a bit more firm and stay on the hook better. That's a great bait for perch, just like that, and you break off little tiny pieces. And using the sonar in shallow water, I'm fishing right over a weed bed. It's only about 3 to 4 feet deep, and you get a little bit of indication when the fish come in with the Marcum, so you can get ready and you can play to the fish's behavior. Today they were very aggressive. You would see them come in pretty quickly, and they would come up to the lure and inhale it. Some of them had the whole spoon right down their throat. So when they're in aggressive mode like that, usually using a more aggressive pattern works better, like a spoon. I tried out the tungsten jigs today and they were not even coming into them. So some days, you know, tungsten jigs are the only way to go. Some days like today, you have to be willing to change it up and try different things because they weren't really coming in to the tungsten. Okay, although that last one on the jaw jacker, that was a 7mm tungsten jig, just sitting dead stick, and it was a decent perch because it was bending that rod over. So sometimes you can still catch fish on the tungsten, but it might not be as much action as you usually see on the spoon, because when they're feeding aggressively, they'll see the spoon fluttering and they'll come in and grab it. Whereas a tungsten jig doesn't give as much of an active presentation. They don't really come into it as well on those days when there aren't very many fish around. When there's lots of fish around and they're not biting well and they're just looking at your hook, downsize you to a tungsten is usually the best way. But today, spoon was the way. Another one, that's a male. You can see how it's long and skinny. Another nice perch right there. Another tip I have for minnow bite perch is quite often if I'm fishing for perch that eat aquatic insects like scuds, bloodworms, they're quite close to the bottom, within a few centimeters to less than a foot off bottom. If you're after minnow bite perch, they'll come up 2-3 feet off bottom, and I often find when you're just trying to attract fish in, keeping it 2.5 to 3 feet off bottom actually works best. They can see it from further away and they come in pretty aggressively to check it out. So keep that in mind. If you know your perch and you know that they consume minnows, then fish for them like they're attacking a minnow. Keep that minnow up high off the bottom, and whatever pattern you're using, a little jigging spoon or a little plastic, little tungsten jig, whatever you think is going to imitate a minnow best, keep it up where they can see it and they'll attack from below, just like a walleye. Lots of decent ones today. Not huge, about a 9-incher, but we're not getting many of the little tiny guys, so it's a decent day. Another beauty little perch. Alright, let's keep moving. I drilled all these holes, might as well try them out. I hate leaving holes unfished. It's like, you did all the work, you might as well fish them. Look at that one. See, when perch goes like this, and they got their mouth closed, if you squeeze their cheeks together, hook comes right out just like that.